Welcome. It is no accident that you have found your way to the Release the Genie podcast. What would you do with 3 wishes? And what if you discovered that you are in fact that very genie that could grant them? Well, join us now as we discover who our next genie is as we listen in and learn the stories of triumph, inspiration, and passion with some very special guests. And now, without further delay, your host of the Release the Genie podcast, Mr. Paul Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, so depending where you're watching this from. Welcome to another Release the Genie podcast. And oh my God, we've got a fantastic genie today. Her name is Hirsch, and she is a complete wonder. There's been some really good words to describe Jamie, and they have been strong, audacious, wisdom, empowering. If that's not enough, she is hosting, and this is really exciting, in November of this year, the Relationship Mastery Summit. And I am very fortunate. I have got a little part as well. So here she is, without any further ado, my special guest and genie today, Jamie. Welcome to the show.
Woo! Fantastic. What an introduction. I mean, it makes me feel like jumping and, high-fiving the whole crowd. I'm so excited. So excited. Thank you very much for having me here, Paul. I'm excited about your show. I'm excited about what you're doing. And having a few minutes of a conversation with you. I know you're a man that's up to greatness. So thank you for having me here. I appreciate you.
That's wonderful. Now, Jamie and I had a bit of a wager who would make each other blush beforehand. So I think we're even at the moment. So, so Jamie, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Okay, so yes, I was born in Trinidad. I currently live in the U.S., in Florida. I have 2 brothers, a genius nephew, who's my everything, and I am in a relationship, an amazing relationship, and also I'm a business owner. I'm also an amazing acclaimed author, and we have something exciting coming up, which is the Relationship Mastery event. And I'm super excited about that. So
that's amazing. You can fit so much into that little tiny package of you. So it's like all these things: relationship expert and author. So hopefully everyone can see actually the energy shining off this lovely lady. So fantastic. Thank you very much. So like any good story, there's always that release the genie moment, that aha moment. So talk us through, what was your release the genie moment?
Yeah, I actually woke up one morning and I was like, okay. So I heard, and I cannot remember exactly who said it. They're like, to find your purpose in life, really something that brings you joy. And something ignites you and brings you joy. It's like, what is that? I mean, it got me discovering, I'm in the arena of relationships, but what is it that really brings me joy? And then I realized my passion for children. I love children. Like, that's why I said my genius nephew, Levi. I mean, he can get away with pretty much anything with me. And I was like, how does this relate to, like, how can I tie this together? Because I don't really see myself being a teacher for children. I know I will be an amazing mom. I have 2 4-legged children. I mean, so however, I did not know how they tie in because I did not really see myself in an endeavor with children that I knew of. And then I was like, okay, further into my study, I realized the connection with childhood and the connection with relationship in adulthood. And by noticing that connection, I realized, because I want to make a difference in the lives of children. That is what something about them brings me joy. And it's like anywhere I go, kids gravitate towards me. So it's not like, it's a one way, it's actually both. So really incredible. One of our neighbors, right? She's 3 years old and she needed once every time she was like, where's Jamie? You know, and she remembers, and it's like, you know, but that's not every, like, you know, I've noticed that with children. So there's something there, and I wanted to discover what that is more deeper.
That's just wonderful because, you know, children, they're so impressionable. And so if they're sort of given the right information and care and love, that, I mean, it turns them into amazing human beings. So what a calling. I mean, wow.
Yes.
And I love the fact that Levi can get away with whatever he wants because Auntie said so. So that's kind of cool.
Right. I believe when he's little, right? You know, over 18, 16, I guess that becomes a little, you know, it depends, right? However, you know, it really matters at the age where he's at, where at that age, of course, you know, he's trusted, you know, and to make wise decisions and, you know, have a level of self-esteem and well-being that would lead him the right path. So that's really the goal and the segue in knowing the difference.
That's wonderful. And, you know, lighting up the pathway is just, and there's some children's in their lives, there is no adult or role model or figure. So I can really see how much you can actually bring and help other people. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm impressed. And so let's move on to what was one of your quotes or a mantra which you live by. What sums up Jamie's sort of in a quote?
You know, that's a great question. And you know, how it lands for me, Paul, is dependent on the circumstance or dependent on where, whatever I'm facing. I'm like, okay, what quote can I use? And that's actually what comes in, because it's kind of like a magic pill, or like seeing the Matrix, that pill that takes you beyond. If I choose the red versus the blue versus the red. So one of the quotes that I've noticed that was able to transform at a more faster pace was by if I change the way I look at things, the things I look at change, and that is by Dyer. Right. So I was like, wow, you know, that has been very impactful
Yeah.
through some circumstances in my life.
I love Dr. Wayne Dyer, and you know, one of my things is I wish I was able to meet him at some point because, you know, he's amazing. So I think that's a really beautiful quote, and it can apply to so many things. And sometimes people just need to stop and see how they see and change the way they see things. Excellent. Well, look, you know, we're doing well, and we haven't even got to the wish part yet. Oh my goodness. So tell me one setback, because in any story there's always a sort of a setback, something to overcome. So if you'd like to share with us your setback and how you overcame it.
Myself. Now, how did I overcome that? Listen, if the minute I overcome that, I think I'll be an angel and I'll be graduated from Earth. You know, that's kind of like the way I see it, Paul. The minute I have overcome myself, that's where I see graduation happening. You know, that's where I see sharing with the archangels or something like that. I mean, but that's just my belief on that path. So I would say overcoming myself.
Yeah, well,
you know, that's part of me.
You've already a genie today, so it's just another step up to an angel. So you're getting there. And I agree. It's kind of like when you hear people saying getting out of your own way. And yeah, overcoming yourself. Right. Okay, everyone, viewers, chew on that for a little while, because that's a big one. So tell me, so we already alluded to the fact that you've got this fantastic summit coming up in November. What are you working on at the moment?
Yeah, you know, right now, Paul, we're really looking to bring as much value to our audience as possible. So, you know, we really want this summit is so niche, you know, it's about relationship or more like the intimacy. So speakers like yourself would be able to contribute, and really the top experts in the relationship endeavor that will bring so much tremendous value, regardless of what stage in a relationship someone's in. Whether they just got divorced, whether they're single and looking, whether they're married, whatever it is, there is going to be an area that, a speaker will cover that would apply to someone in that audience.
I mean, to be honest, it's it's an area of life which touches every single person on the planet. So I understand its niche, but it's something I think that we can all kind of relate to in some way. What a fantastic area! What a lovely sandbox to be playing in. It's big, and yeah, I think everyone remembers having their heart broken.
Right. I mean, listen, it's something we all have in common, right, Paul? I mean, I have not met a human being who has not. And I mean, there still may be some that says they haven't. So I don't know, right? We have, I don't know how many billion people on the planet, but, as far as I know, I haven't met any yet.
No, I think, and if we did a straw poll, I think that would back you up, because I don't know anyone either. So, so now I come to the real favorite part of the show, because I now get to ask you 3 wishes. And so you can share with us your pearls of wisdom as the very wise genie you are. I've already said at the beginning, you are full of wisdom, you're audacious, you are strong and empowered. So no pressure, but this should be really quite good. So my first wish, you ready, Genie?
I am ready.
Okay, let's go for it. What is the best advice you have ever received?
What is the best advice I've ever received? That's your wish, huh?
Uh-huh.
What a great wish.
I try.
Yeah. What is the best advice? If I work harder on myself, if I work hard on my job, I make a living. And if I work harder on myself, I make a fortune.
That's sagely advice. People take shortcuts on personal development. They think it's all woo-woo, but it's not at all, is it? It's kind of the essential. Awesome. Well, hey, that one went sailing out of the park, so I'm pretty cool about that one. So let's move on to wish number 2.
Got it.
Okay, here we go. What advice would you give your younger self?
It's another, there's a, don't worry about what other people think.
The ultimate prison, the invisible prison, which I know, and you are like the jail keeper unlocking these invisible prisons. Because first of all, just using your matrix thing, you need to realize you're in the prison.
Mm-hmm.
So this lady here has the red and the blue pill. What channeling some Morpheus here. That's wonderful.
Oh.
Don't worry. We're now coming on to wish number 3. So wish number 3 is, can you share with us one attribute which accounts for your success?
And it's that's a good one. Very good wishes, by the way.
I tried.
And not, what attribute is not letting my family down. So knowing that whatever it is, I get to be my best and do my best, and to make my parents proud. I think that's where it comes down to making my parents proud.
To be honest, I think everyone can relate to that, because there's always somebody we would like, whether they're here or they're passed over, they still hold that something inside of you. And I think you're really quite in touch with what's inside of you to be able to even think about being able to be relating and coaching and helping young adults and children. There's a little bit of angel in you, and you do. So that is awesome. Thank you very much. I feel like I've got really good value, and I was quite pleased in a way that they were difficult wishes, because if you just said like a boop, 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 I would like, oh, okay. So thank you for taking the time, absorbing it, and answering them very well. Now I'd like to just find out what book is kind of like your go-to, or what are you reading at the moment? So if you can share that with us, that would be very grateful.
Yeah, one I stumble upon, and I'm going to share it. One of the things I love to do is read. So, my Kindle, my Audible is all filled with amazing books. But one I'm currently reading right now, it's the Course in Miracles experiment. So what they did with this Palm Grout is summarize. So I'm sure you're shaking your head, like daily there's a lesson in here.
I'm through at the moment. I'm on day
Oh, good
265, I
for
think,
you.
which is the correct date in the year. So I try and read one every day. So I love this. So
Wow.
please continue. I love the way she actually brings a huge amount of humor into it, because the Course in Miracles is like,
Oh,
there was if somebody at an when we did have live audiences, when they used to say, so who's got the Course in Miracles, and all the hands would go up, who's read it, and everyone's like, I think she does a fantastic job. Yeah, she really mixes the new and with the old. No, I fantastic book, and guys and girls, if you haven't read this, I thoroughly recommend it. Super easy to get into, though, isn't it?
yes, yes.
And it's not dry. It's like 2 or 3 pages per lesson, and I must admit, I tried taking it on like a normal book, reading page one all the way through, and I was like, I'm going to forget all these things. So I thought, okay, I started through the year. So I looked up the date, and now I just do one lesson a day, and I can always go back.
Right.
And I figured that was kind of bite-sized chunks. So yeah. So awesome. Well, look, that's a great book. Thank you very much for sharing that. And where can we find you? Because if people want to get in touch, and they're going to want to come and watch this fantastic event, if you could also tell us, the date and things like that of the summit.
Yeah, so the summit is on November 21st, and it's an all-day virtual event. I would highly suggest grabbing your tickets. There's a certain limit that we are allowed to have. And also there would be a live artist broadcasting studio. So if you're in the area of Florida, feel free to watch it live. Also, live, you can watch it live from a computer. You can watch it live in person. And we do have, it's on Relationship Master Summit. That's RELATIONSHIP Master, MASTER, summit.com. If you go on there, you will find which level of ticket works for you. You would also see the amazing speakers that we have lined up. And people can find me on social media. They can find me on jamiehirsch.com. And my handle is at jamiehirsch8.
There it is. And you were talking about the different levels, because there's breakout rooms and all sorts of fun things, isn't it? It's not just people just talk at you for 8-9 hours. So how did you what was the thought process of sort of mixing those levels up?
We want to bring as much value to the audience as possible, right? So I know whenever I go to an event that has a VIP, I know, of course, I'm going to get more. So let's say it's one of the most favorite author or speaker I want to really get close to. I know VIP is a no-brainer, right? And I know I'm going to be getting more and proximity wise too, right, to that person versus just being in a general. Because I don't know about you, Paul, but I remember having a general ticket to one of Grant Cardone's events, and I was way like, I think I was in Mars and everyone else was on Earth. I mean, I wasn't able to hear or see much, and I'm like, are people really paying to sit in these things? And the worst thing is, are they continually going to these stadiums in these level of seating? Because it's not a great experience. And I would say, you know, we do bring the value for people that really want to get up close and personal to, you know, whatever they're facing in life. They're looking for a breakthrough, and they can just really get it with that one-on-one or private group or whatever it is that that level can afford. And that's really how it's designed.
I love it because you know it's a big thing, but yet you've also made it very tailored at the same time. That's wonderful, and I really relate to the fact that sometimes you're stuck at the back, and you know the person on the stage is like that big, and so yeah. And
I mean, it's, you know, it's unlike you know, it's unlike any relation. I'm not sure there's been any relationship summit like this because of the diversity and the expert level on each of those areas that we're covering that makes the whole spectrum of relationship mastery. So relationship mastery itself, with others, and marriage, and, you know, with family. So it's going to cover the whole spectrum, and these experts are going to really tap into that. And even someone that wants a boost to their sex and intimacy, you know, relationship wise, that is also going to be covered. So
that's awesome. No, to be honest, it's cradle to grave on relationship stuff, and I think you're actually right. I can't recollect of anything quite like this. So I'm going to go out there and say I think this is the first of its kind. So if anyone wants to correct me, it's me, not Jamie, who said that.
I love that. Thank you.
No problem at all. Well, look, Jamie, thank you ever so much. We challenge you with some interesting questions. You were able to tell us about this wonderful event. And as you said, VIP, no brainer, get up close and personal. The wonderful Jamie will also be there. So if you want to zone in and speak to this lovely lady, she's going to be there too. So I just want to say thank you very much. And have a wonderful carpet ride to wherever you're going to go.
Hey, listen, Paul, thank you for being the master of genies, bringing out the genie in others, and continuing to make the difference that you are making. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time for another wonderful genie moment. In the meantime, please go and find your genie. See you next time.
Well, that's a wrap. You have been listening to yet another episode of the Release the Genie podcast with host Paul Rogers. Be sure to follow Paul on the LinkedIn platform and learn more of Paul's resources at www.takeactionacademy.ca. And until next time, as always, be mindful and be sure to release your genie. Thanks for listening.